Alright, let's go. Ow! That hurts. Yeah, that hurts a lot. Okay, what's going on? Well, I know what's going on because I played this before, but...
Do you honestly think your arrow will reach me before my blade finds your heart?
Give me a reason to try.
You're a clever girl, Karliah. Buying Golden Glow Estate and funding Honningbrew Meadery was inspired.
To ensure an enemy's defeat, you must first undermine his allies. It was the first lesson Gallus taught us.
You always were a quick study.
Not quick enough. Otherwise Gallus would still be alive.
Gallus had his wealth and he had you. All he had to do was look the other way.
Did you forget the oath we took as Nightingales? Did you expect him to simply ignore your methods?
Enough of this mindless banter. Come, Karliah. It's time for you and Gallus to become reunited.
I'm no fool, Mercer. Crossing blades with you would be a death sentence. But I can promise the next time we meet, it will be your undoing.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, man?
How interesting. It appears Gallus's history has repeated itself. Karliah has provided me the means to be rid of you, and this ancient tomb becomes your final resting place.
What?
But do you know what intrigues me the most? The fact that this was all possible because of you.
Dude.
Farewell. I'll be certain to give Brynjolf your regards.
You're a douche. Okay, that hurt. Yeah, you're a douche. I knew there's something wrong about Mercer. I never really trusted him. Well, then again, I played the game before, and I knew he was going to turn on me. But I still didn't trust him. Oh, look, I'm alive.
Easy. Easy. Don't get up so quickly. How are you feeling?
Well, I was shot with an arrow and then stabbed in the chest. So... not the greatest. And you're the one who shot me.
No, I saved your life. My arrow was tipped with a unique paralytic poison. It slowed your heart and kept you from bleeding out. Had I intended to kill you, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
That rabbit just totally distracted me. Anyways, why save me?
My original intention was to use that arrow on Mercer, but I never had a clear shot. I made a split-second decision to get you out of the way, and it prevented your death.
Well, you should have shot Mercer instead. That guy is a complete piece of crap.
I promise you, the thought crossed my mind. The poison on that arrow took me a year to perfect. I only had enough for a single shot. All I had hoped was to capture Mercer alive.
Why capture Mercer alive?
Mercer must be brought before the guild to answer for what he's done. He needs to pay for Gallus's murder.
Fair enough. Wait, he killed Gallus? Ah, it's all making sense now. How will you prove it?
My purpose in using Snowveil Sanctum to ambush Mercer wasn't simply for irony's sake. Before both of you arrived, I recovered a journal from Gallus's remains. I suspect the information we need is written inside.
Well, what's it say?
I wish I knew. The journal is written in some sort of language I've never seen before.
Well, perhaps it could be translated.
Enther. Gallus's friend at the College of Winterhold. Of course. It's the only outsider Gallus trusted with the knowledge of his Nightingale identity.
Here's that word again. You guys keep saying it. Nightingale?
There were 3 of us. Myself, Gallus, and Mercer. We were an anonymous splinter of the Thieves Guild in Riften. Perhaps I'll tell you more about it later. Right now, you need to head for Winterhold with the journal and get the translation. Here, take these as well. They may prove useful for your journey.
Okay. Why can't you come with me to Winterhold? Why do I always have to do everything for everybody?
I'm afraid not. There are preparations to make, and Gallus's remains to lay to rest. I promise to join you there as soon as I can.
Okay, and why didn't you kill Mercer?
Mercer lied to the Guild, branded me a murderer, and slandered my name across his network of contacts. For 25 years I ran, never sleeping in the same place twice and carefully covering my tracks. Mercer doesn't need to die. He needs to feel the cold sting of fate as his life crumbles in front of him and he's hunted by the Guild.
Yeah, you might not have a choice next time.
I can promise you if it comes to that, and my back's to the wall, I won't hesitate.
Okay. Well, I'm off to Winterhold.
Remember, speak only to Anther. Trust no one else.
Okay. Well, see ya. Oh yeah, look at there's her horse that Mercer killed earlier. I never noticed that the first time around. Well, I'm gonna fast travel. That is one thing I've always wondered about. Karliah was in a relationship with Gallus, and I'm relatively certain Gallus is human. His name sounds Imperial, but it could also be, you know, Breton or something like that. But I don't know. The idea of an elf-human relationship doesn't seem very practical, because elves pretty much live forever until they're killed by like disease or something. So she would most definitely outlive him, and he would die. So I never really got that. There's a book series called The Life of Berenzia, or as it's properly pronounced, Berenzia. That's another thing, is I always called her Berenzia. No, I always called her Berenzia until Skyrim, and I actually heard her name said out loud, and everybody in the game pronounces it Berenzia. But in my mind, it's Berenzia, because I already pronounced it that way so long, and it seems to roll off the tongue better. But there's a whole book series. I would highly recommend you read it. The Real Berenzia, and I think the Biography of Berenzia are the two series. But you should read them, because they're very interesting reads. But I think Berenzia ends up starting up a relationship with a human, and her husband dies and whatnot. She outlives him. But anyways, I'm rambling. I have to go start this quest. You! Hello there.
Yes, what is it?
Huh. You sound a lot like
Can
Mercer.
I help you with anything else?
I've been sent by Karliah.
Karliah? Then she's finally found it. Do you have Gallus's journal?
Yeah, but there's a problem.
A problem? Let me see it. Oh, this is just like Gallus. A dear friend, but always too clever for his own good. He's written all of the text in the Falmer language.
Can you translate it?
No. However, I know someone who might. The court wizard of Markarth.
Of course.
Selmo may have the materials you need to get this journal translated. A word of warning. Selmo is a fierce guardian of his research. Getting the information won't be easy.
Alright, why in the world did Gallus scribe his journal in the Falmer language?
Besides the fact that there are only a handful of people in Tamriel that even recognize the language, I'm fairly certain he was planning some sort of a heist that involved a deep understanding of the Falmer language. Sadly, we never had the opportunity to speak about the details.
Where'd he acquire this knowledge?
Ironically, I pointed him in the same direction I pointed you, to Markarth and Calselmo. I'm only hoping whatever means he used to learn the language will still be available to you.
Alright, what can you tell me about Gallus?
He was a dear friend of mine, and a surprisingly astute pupil of academia. I was devastated when he was killed. I suppose that risk always coexisted with his line of work. I just never thought his luck would run out.
He was an academic, yet he chose a different path. Why?
For the thrill, of course. He was quite clear that he felt more in his element climbing through a window rather than hunched over a dusty tome.
How'd you meet him?
Yes, quite an amusing anecdote, actually. I caught him trying to break into my laboratory. I was about to show him the error of his ways when he made a curiously astute comment about my research notes. I was astounded, and in turn it led to a conversation. Who would have imagined it would lead to such a strong friendship?
Okay. Well, thanks for the info, and I'm gonna head off to Markarth.
Calselmo is stubborn as a mule. Be careful when you speak to him.
Will do. To be honest, I really do not like this next quest at all. But it has to be done. So, off to Markarth. Oh, I haven't discovered Markarth apparently. That's interesting. Well then. Let's go to Solitude. And let's take a carriage from Solitude to Markarth.